KVC, how's it going? Right, okay, a vinyl finds video. I went down to London last weekend to see a mate. I was there for a couple of days, so of course, you know, across the course of the weekend, I visited a few record shops, obviously. Bought 7 or 8 records, so I've taken some footage of the shops as well, so you can sort of see what I was looking at and, you know, whatnot. So yeah, so cool. Right, so first up, this album. This is a band called Act One. Came out, I think, 74, certainly mid-70s, on Spring Records. Spring Records, of course, I mainly associate with Millie Jackson. They put out those wonderful mid-70s Millie Jackson records like Caught Up and Still Caught Up and stuff like that, you know. But I picked this up from Flashback Records. Now, Flashback, I think there's 3 or 4 shops across London. I've been to them all at different points. But I went to the shop on Brick Lane, which I think is the newest one. A nice mixture of new vinyl and used vinyl. I've taken some footage, so I'll cut that into the video in a minute so you can see what I was doing. But yeah, a record that I've been after for quite a few years, actually. It's not an expensive record. I think I paid 7 or 8 quid for it, which is pretty much what it's going for, you know. But I suppose I could have got it online, but, you know, there's no fun in that, is there? But yeah, nice stuff. Perhaps need to give it a couple more spins, if I'm honest. A couple of big tunes on here, but yeah, I think it's going to take a little bit of time to get into the rest of the record. But, you know, pleased to pick that up for the money. And then I went over to Hackney. So I went to 5 shops on the Friday afternoon. I only picked up 2 records from those 5 shops, and the reason for that was, first of all, London prices. You know, I'm from Birmingham, I'm not used to those London prices, but also, you know, whatever I bought, I was going to have to carry around for the rest of the day. So I only bought one other record. Now, I went to Yo-Yo Records, which is a great shop. Well, I've said before, it's like the best shop and the worst shop because it's full of absolutely wonderful stuff. You know, the bad news is that the prices are pretty much top end. First of all, because it's London, but also because, you know, it's full of great stuff. You know, the people there, you know, they seek this stuff out. They make sure that the stock is top quality. So that's what you get. You pay top dollar, don't you? So when I went in, their entire wall was covered in gospel music, which was a little bit unexpected, but this was on the wall. A record I've been after for years. The Stovall Sisters, 1971, I think it is, on Reprise. A nice sort of funky gospel record. I'm going to do a needle drop on the opening track, which is called Hang On In There. Now, see what you think, but I think this drum intro on this track sounds just like Hot for Teacher by Van Halen. See what you think. So I only picked up 2 records on a Friday, but my friend lives in Greenwich, and I've said before when I visited him, Greenwich Market is great for records. There's a guy there, you know, there's a small stall, loads of good stuff, prices much better than the shops around London, and I picked up a couple of records from him. So first up, the Fatback Band with Keep On Stepping, 1974, originally came out on Perception. I think this copy is on Southbound, a late 80s reissue. Sounds great though. I'm a big fan of the Fatback Band. I saw them live last year and they were brilliant. Only one original member now, Bill Curtis on percussion. but the songs are just so good. All of their 70s records were as funky as hell, absolutely wonderful stuff. And of course they made great sort of electronic funk into the 80s as well. Obviously I Found Lovin' is a massive tune. But yeah, so since seeing them live, I've been sort of trying to pick up, you know, the records that I haven't got, you know. So yeah, so pick that up. I actually picked up another one of theirs a couple of weeks before. This is Feel My Soul, also from '74, I think, on Perception. Obviously it's an original copy, but yeah, so basically, because I've been playing this a lot for a couple of weeks before going down to London, so in the back of my mind I was looking for Fatback Band records, so I was pleased to find that.
Yeah. The party people, the party people who love to get down. I'm looking for the party people who love to get down. Come on, tell me, where the party people.
And one other record that I picked up from the market stall in Greenwich, Johnny Guitar Watson, an album called Listen from 1973. I love Johnny Guitar Watson. I mean, he put out a great record in the late 60s, an album with Larry Williams, brilliant. But of course, then once you get to the mid 70s, all those funk albums that he put out, you know, those cheeky covers, you know, he's got a bit of a twinkle in his eye, you know, great funk records, and always cheap as well. This one is a little bit more expensive, but not one that I see about on Fantasy Records. Yeah, definitely recommend checking that one out. And then I went over the road to the Music and Video Exchange in Hackney. Not in Hackney, sorry, in Greenwich. And I say again, I've taken some footage of that shop, and I'll cut that in a minute. But they had a load of great Latin records in there. Now, stuff that you don't really see around too much. All at fair prices as well. So a few albums by Johnny Pacheco. Look at him on his flying carpet there. You can't leave that behind. Another late 60s record, albeit I think this is an early 70s reissue on Fania, but very cool. And I think the best of the Johnny Pacheco records that I picked up, Pacheco, his flute and Latin jam. This is great. Now, interestingly, all of the records were all graded as good, which originally I wasn't going to bother looking at the vinyl because I saw the grade on it. But, you know, all that's happened, they've got a bit of a few scuffs from the paper in the sleeve. That's it. Doesn't affect the play at all. Just a little bit unsightly at times. But yeah, great record. And one other, which I'll do a needle drop on, Ray Barretto. Whenever you see Ray Barretto records, pick them up. An album called On Fire Again, mid-60s Ray Barretto. Yeah, so lovely stuff. And that's on the Tico label. All of these as well, I've got the original inner sleeves, which are always lovely to look at, you know. So with as a kid I used to spend hours looking at these sort of inner sleeves, looking at what other records are available, you know. So the life of a record geek, eh? But there you go. But again, I'll do a needle drop on one of those tracks and show you some footage from the shops. So cheers.
Tumba, tumba, tumba.